Marie Levesque had men unloading the barges and taking the grain to the Palais du Luxembourg.
If the people think the royal family has been hoarding food in a time of famine...
Bedlam. Just the sort of thing Germain seems to thrive on.
Madame Levesque is yours. I'll find the stolen grain and try to get it out of there before anyone finds it.
Stay out of trouble. Don't get caught.
Help! Help! Someone help me! Hand over the powder!
What will we do, Michel?
If I could only get my hands on that guard.
Lovely party. You've outdone yourself this time.
Merci. Now pray excuse me, I need to see to my husband.
Can he?
L'homme étrange. Si vous espériez passer inaperçu, c'est raté. Je crois que je vais avoir un haut le cœur.
N'approchons pas trop. Prenons garde au miasme.
Je ferais mieux d'arriver la garde de nos jours. Assassin!
I'll blow it back!
Raise the alarm!
rentrer chez moi. Vous voulez bien me laisser partir?
I'll get you down.
Remember what I taught you, Marie?
Oui, Mama.
Francois Thomas Germain, for your crimes against the Templar Order, you are cast out. Let any man offering succor to the exile share his fate.
Fool. Something speaks to me. No, it's mine, de la Serre. De la Serre!
Milady, you have a caller.
I need your help, Marie.
You were right. King Louis's been talking to all sorts he shouldn't have. Plotting against the revolution out of one side of his mouth, while he promises to support the Constitution out the other.
Good. I trust you can get this information into the proper hands, Monsieur le Pelletier.
Of course, Grandmaster. With this evidence in hand, the King's conviction is certain.
So, after two set pieces in this game that were so bad that they could individually be up for the 2017 list at the end of the year, and it's only been the middle of May. Holy crap, it's only been 20 days since that video went out. Holy crap, Ubisoft fucked this up. We're getting to the brass tacks. We're almost getting done with the French Rite of the Templars. We're getting to know the ultimate villain, as best as you can get to know a guy who spends all of his life inside of a black hood. And we come up to the first female Templar of the Rite, and I would suspect the only female Templar that we're going to see, Marie Levesque. And if you were like me and knew nothing about French history, you might correctly assume that Marie Levesque was actually Marie Antoinette, the famous person who helped to plunge France into open and total revolution due to horrible spending and idiotic policy changes in a time of strife. Not the case. It turns out that Marie Levesque and Marie Antoinette were completely different people, mostly because Marie Antoinette was the Queen of France, and for what I could tell, Marie Levesque just seems to be a semi-connected merchant. And here is where we start hitting the stupidest thing that Ubisoft did with Unity, and that was turning the French Revolution a time of interesting human tragedy and political research that has been fruitful for decades and possibly centuries, was reduced down to a Templar conspiracy to overthrow the government. A complete joke of a historical fictional plot twist in which Marie Levesque uses her connections to steal all of the grain shipments into France and thereby ruining the populace and turning them into crazed revolutionaries due to the lack of food in the country. This is an incredibly idiotic thing for any historical fiction to do. In trying to make things as black and white as possible, they boil down country-spanning horrible times of revolution, conflict, and the most true representations of the human condition. They boil them down to stupid conspiracies orchestrated by one or two people and think that that makes it more interesting. No, it doesn't. It just points out how fictional and how flimsy your historical fiction is. And you took the French Revolution, which would have been one of the most potentially great time periods for an Assassin's Creed game to take place, and you completely fucked it up by making it as easy to digest as possible. The French Revolution is not something easily digestible, and you should have stuck with your guns, actually gone through the research, and had this game take place during the French Revolution and not trying to entirely stop the entire thing through Arnaud Dorian. Someone so frickin' stupid that even the gods could not direct him to stop the French Revolution. And now that I've had my little tantrum, let's talk about the actual assassination itself, because Marie Levesque's actual assassination is actually pretty good in comparison to the previous Frederic Rouy, and at this point the incredibly dusty assassination at the beginning of the game of Roy de Thun. Some things that were so frickin' bad that I think even Ubisoft themselves, the European EA, would regret in the now times. But Marie actually came about it pretty good, mostly because it's set during a house party she's throwing, which means tons of crowds, and yeah, tons of guards, but with the tons of crowds, that means there's more hiding places, they aren't as crazy hyper alert, you can move around a bit more, you get a bit of a margin for error, which I unfortunately used to fuck up my assassination of Marie Levesque by accidentally assassinating one of her bodyguards, and then having to button mash my way out of combat in order to actually kill her, which I thankfully had the option to do. Then the post-death cutscene reveals that she was part of the conspiracy to kill de la Serre, Arno's adopted father, and she was basically in on the whole thing. I don't really know what her direct role was in the assassination other than her being in the Templar Order and stealing grain from the country, and basically just being a serf to the ultimate villain guy. I don't really know what she had to do with the actual murder. She was there, she could have stopped it, I guess? I don't know what Arno's actual justification was for killing her, but I don't think that actually matters because she's in the Templar Order, he's an assassin and everything, and it just kind of writes itself after that. I mean, the assassination was decent enough. It's fucking gold standing next to a couple of the other assassinations in the game. But overall, is that really what it takes to make it worthwhile? Well, hell no. There's tons of other boss fights I'd rather do again. There's tons of other games I would like to be playing right now, but this ain't one of them. Just because you ain't in the sewer shitty doesn't mean you get to get away and be a 10 out of a 10 just for being halfway decent. No, that's not how it works. So yeah, that's basically it. It's the worst kind of end review that you could give a product. It's not that bad, it's not that good, it's completely forgettable, and let's just forget about it.